start recording. And all right, hello everybody, welcome to Safe State.
Safe
State. We have a name that is not shoot the shit because someone all the way up further down there didn't like expletives.
It's family friendly, okay?
I didn't know we were hosting a family friendly, but sure.
You know what? Just imagine what the t-shirts would look like.
Yeah, right.
Would you rather have a t-shirt that has some clever like glitch like save state drawing, or would you want one with a literal piece of shit on it?
With holes in it.
Anyway,
But don't look
shit.
You're not gonna find us, I swear.
Also, we might need to we might need to appear higher up on the Google searches right now because the one that are currently on top might not be the best image for us.
How do you know?
What is the one on top?
Don't worry about it.
I'm actually curious.
Don't even worry about it.
Check it later.
Hey, what?
And we also, I mean, not only do we have a new name for the show, we also have a logo for VGBC.
Daniel, you show something off?
Here. Let me go to the screen share. Here we.
Oh, you're showing them a little preview.
A little preview. It's what's
It's
on
a
the
little-
Discord right now.
It's a little sneak peek.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's on the Discord right now, so you know.
Yeah.
Just what we've released into the wild so far.
If y'all want to see the full logo, hop on Discord. You'll see it. You can use it as your avatar for everything you do. So then you
Everything you
can
do.
rep VGBC.
Yeah, exactly. Colors to
They
come.
see it. How
Food
they-
sprays.
Show the people the fucking logo, man.
They're gonna see that shit and they will know fear.
This is the part of the logo right now that I have settled that I'm not like touching anymore. Now it comes to text. I told you I lost all
You
my
can't
tabs.
see it, Daniel. You gotta show it to them.
Wait, oh.
Give the people what we want them to have.
There it is, in all its glory.
This is what I
It
have
might look
said
like
so
every
far.
other generic video game logo, but it's not. All right, it's not.
Yeah, sure, it's not.
We got
I'm
3
just-
concentric circles.
Oh.
One day this logo is gonna be everywhere. I would wear that on a shirt. I would put that on a bumper sticker. No, sorry.
Cereal boxes. Why do we have to stop there?
Seriously.
We're gonna...
They're gonna be in this shape. See, we already.
And
got
also,
Yeah?
I'm back. Hello.
Oh, who are you?
I'm the dude that changes hairstyles like every week. Last time I was on the show, I did not have facial hair, and right now I'm working on regrowing it because the consensus seems to be that I look even worse without it.
Well, it's okay. I think worse either way.
Yeah, I don't.
do my best.
I'm not sure. What was the reasoning behind cutting it though?
That thing that you do whenever you have a big life event and then you feel the need to do something drastic?
Yeah.
That was it.
And it never pans out.
Don't worry about it.
You're
This is
living
a
the
text.
yeah.
It's in a personal show. That's still in, the process of development.
The
We're
vlog.
gonna have
The-
Ask Dr. Slokestope.
Indeed. Yes, for all your needs. I can actually relate to that. I showed up to a job interview, and I had shaved off all of my beard. I'm like, I'm gonna look fucking great. So I went with a goatee for this job interview. It was horrendous. The mustache was like too short, and like I had like scrabbles coming down here. I did not get a second interview.
And also, we have something else going on this week. Check this out. I'm gonna reach all the way from Austin to Houston.
What just happened?
We're gonna cover that on the show.
So stay tuned for that and more.
10-minute commercial break.
Play ads right now. Wait, hold on. What's the command? Ads. Oh, it's an unrecognized command, by the way. If you type
Nope.
/ads. So follow so that we can eventually type /ads.
There was some big news this week.
big.
I think it's big.
Big.
The Overwatch League.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, hold on, Kevin. They're like a hand from over there. See?
What?
See, it's like they're this size, not the other way. The other way.
What?
Other side.
What?
They're about this big.
Oh, all right, I'm just gonna be over here.
Jumping in. But so
One day we're gonna figure out how to do this show.
the Dream League has happened. Now we have cities representing regions for esport. We have what people always wanted, your local competition.
Yep, it's really real.
Is this what people always wanted, though?
It's really real.
Like,
It's what,
so for those of you that don't know, Blizzard has recently launched this Overwatch League, where they are going to be selling team spots to large bidders, big companies, Mongols all around the world, and they're making it city based. So they're trying to, we real sports now basically, and I don't know how to feel about this because they're trying to make Overwatch like the NFL, but is this something that belongs in esports?
certainly, yeah. I think so. I don't know if Overwatch is the game for it, but with sports, especially something like soccer, which is such a global event, you get like nations forming their identities around their soccer players and how their teams play. And so it might be a really cool thing to have esports and have gamers define how smart a nation is or the Twitch speed of a nation.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm worried about is what if because unlike conventional sports where there's a huge pool in every country, or like Daniel, you and I are from smaller countries. Are you worried about this locking out certain regions?
No, because it's always like, especially in soccer or football or baseball, or there's always a region that either doesn't get in or it changes through time, which regions are powerful, which regions are big. Like, people are saying in the last World Cup, Brazil had it easy, and that's how they got all the way to Germany, who 7-1 them.
That went well.
So, and plus they were the host country, so they were already qualified. So there were a lot of there's like a lot of things that define those regions, and sure, there's some regions that are gonna be looked at, like I really doubt countries in South America, unless it's a big one like Brazil or Argentina, or the region comes together and puts a team forward. I think that can happen on the meanwhile while it gets figured out. But right now, I think there's way too few regions for that to matter.
There's it's 7 regions, isn't it?
7 teams.
7 teams.
So they're not exactly in different regions.
And like the regions are predetermined by Blizzard?
I don't think so. I think it's by bidder, right?
I'm not sure. Because I also
haven't seen anything.
I also feel like these regions are pretty much like handpicked. We want, the West Coast, we want Northeast Coast, we want China. Like, wouldn't surprise me if they were like, hey, can you buy this for this? Yeah.
So for the 7 regions, it looks like we have 5 that are in the U.S. and 2 that aren't. And we have one in Boston, New York City, San Francisco, L.A., Miami/Orlando. I don't quite understand why it needs to be both and not just one, but that's how it is. And then the 2 outside of the U.S. are in Shanghai, China, and then the other one's in Seoul, Korea. So, I mean, honestly, the ones that are outside of the U.S. do not surprise me at all.
No, they were, as I said, they are handpicked. Like, they're like, we want, boom, Google Seoul in Google Maps, and whatever it lands on.
That's kind of a big issue with esports. It's going to be sort of a closed circuit You're not going to allow any outside teams to come in.
Mhm.
And in these regions, you're going to have kind of like with football, you got a coach, I guess a manager, and you've got teams that are playing for a region. So I guess you could qualify for those, and if you're good enough, be staged in the world. But it might actually be prohibitive for players. Thinking about it now, and not to mention, isn't there like a buy-in in order to just even establish a league? I think it's some stupid amount of money just to.
Yeah, I think the rumor for the buy-in for each, the rumor right now is it's $20 million per slot.
It's $20 million.
That is not a small chunk of
$20
change.
million.
It is
Exactly.
insane. It is unheard of.
It's
For reference, the international, the biggest prize pool in the world in esports easily is just barely over $20 million.
Yeah.
And this is $20 million for a spot.
Hmm.
Like, that's insane.
Well,
Just to pay.
it's a rumor, so who knows? Like, the
Yeah,
actual
but I
number.
wouldn't be surprised if it's soming along those lines,
It's-
because
that's a rumor.
it's
That's the
Activision
rumor.
we're talking about over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, no, but
True
It-
story.
it wouldn't also surprise me if for some that are like not as big of buyers, or for example for Boston they want Robert Kraft to be in. They're like, hey, Mr. Kraft, we'll give you this normal price is 20 million right here.
Yeah, that's right. To
but
him,
we'll-
that is nothing. You're right.
but
Beat sheets at the Boston games is going to be real.
Yeah, so let's go.
Yeah, let's go
Daniel,
through
yeah,
the
you
company.
want to go through like who the owners are for each of these, because you bring up a good point in that they're not all esports people.
Yeah, no. So Boston, we have Robert Kraft, who is the CEO of Kraft, the food company, and he also owns the New England Patriots.
What the hell?
You might have heard of them.
For my collection.
Yeah,
You might have heard of Tom Brady.
yeah, some dude that's won. He's won a couple games, right?
He has like a lot of rings, so
I
like,
think I heard him before.
Yeah.
yeah. Alright, well,
He was a 9-gag meme.
that gang. New York City, we got Jeff Wilpon Sterling, VC, which is a sports media real estate venture capital fund, and the CEO of the New York Mets. So,
Another sports team, like.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess that's not too surprising, right? So then you have people that are in real sports that want to branch out. To one thing that could help the esports community if this is done correctly, but that's one of the things I'm worried about, because from my point of view, honestly, the people that I know that play competitive they enjoy the competitive aspects of Overwatch, I know more about Overwatch esports than they do. So they don't watch it because I don't watch it.
They just own it.
Yeah,
And as long as they don't like stick their fingers into it,
that's
it's
the
a very
main
casual
problem.
community.
That's the main problem I see with it, that Overwatch has been a game that's been sort of pushed into the esport, let's jam it in there, when it's sure that can happen, and there's been games that have been successful from that, especially CSGO. CS, the concept was a good esport, but CSGO was always catered to it. However, Overwatch, it's a little bit more unique in the sense that it's new, it's still being figured out. It didn't grow a community that saw rule set that made rule sets that made the actual esport part of it.
It has a really large casual community, like more so than any other competitive game that I've ever seen.
Which is great, I think. It's a success
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
good for the thing is that casual community has to be interested in the competitive aspects. They might not be involved in playing, but they have to be interested in watching, which I don't think Overwatch has. Because remember, like you mentioned CSGO. CSGO was not anywhere close to being as forced as this Overwatch League is, because let's be honest, CSGO grew partially due to gambling. That's just that is a fact. Everyone knows it. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge it, but everyone knows that it helped.
Yeah. Plus, originally CS:GO, when it was on beta, it was I don't know how much, but the developers were in contact with some players and they were taking feedback more than so today. But that's another problem. So in that sense, plus you already you knew the concept of Counter-Strike. You knew that in general that rule set is gonna work.
Exactly. It's not an. It wasn't. CS:GO is not a new game.
No. Well, CS is not, but. Let me finish running through the list because then we get to the actual technology companies.
Yeah.
Then. So we got Andy Miller, the founder of RNG Esports, representing San Francisco. I guess Silicon Valley.
Esports.
We got LA being represented by Noah Winston, the CEO of Immortals, another esports team.
Oh.
We got Miami/Orlando. For some reason, Florida.
He gets 2 cities. He's so good that he gets 2.
Florida.
Or maybe nobody wanted Florida. It's just just take it all.
Yeah, just have it. It's like ideally would have been 40 million, but we're doing a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
So that is the Misfit CEO Ben Spoon. For Shanghai, China, we got NetEase. Which is Overwatch distributor, an internet company in China.
That's very interesting.
Blizzard partner. In Korea, we got Kevin Chu, the co-founder of Kabam, which is a mobile game publisher. And those are the seven
deadly sins.
Kind of an eclectic bunch of sins we have here.
Yeah, see, why? Okay, before we go into any of these teams,
that's a whole
7. How do you make a bracket with 7 teams?
Well, I'm guessing is that it's a league, so it's like 2-3 games per day over a week, but the thing is that if you make it like that, then it's 7 teams. You have them in a week. They've already played each other.
Like, the only way I could see this working out is if you eliminate 1 team from the playoffs and then have 2 teams in the winners bracket and then 4 teams in the losers bracket, right? Mm-hmm. I can't think of any other way to do it without giving somebody a bye, which is not fair when you have 7 teams. Whoever paid the most.
Whoever smells the worst in the board meeting, their team's going to get
That's not fair. We have 2 Asian teams.
Oh, maybe that's why there's 2 Miami and Orlando. They get to double dip. They get 2 teams.
So looking at these owners of these teams, 3 of them are in esports, but one thing I noticed is that look at these teams: NRG, Immortals, and Misfits. Mm-hmm. They're not big teams. They don't win anything.
Well, I don't know about Overwatch, but
but see, the thing is, that's another thing I wanted to point out is that there's only one team in Seoul. There's only one team in Korea, and with Overwatch, isn't it clearly dominated by the Koreans right now? That much I do know. Mm-hmm. Like, from what little I know about Overwatch, the Koreans are miles above any teams.
Well, this also means another thing, though, because that means that those teams represent those cities, but I'm pretty sure the New York Mets have some Latino players, some Japanese.
All the Japanese, Dominicans, and Cubans.
Exactly. So
that's true. I haven't read enough into this to see if the players are region locked, or if it's just the team home, that's
team
where
home
the
base. Yeah, exactly.
From what I can tell, it's just team based, and you're able to acquire other teams for your division. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So that's one of the interesting things that's happening because of this, is that a lot of the Overwatch teams have disbanded, and players have become free agents because if you're a player, you're not making these kinds of, $20 million investment. You want a piece of this pie. I cannot fault the players for it, because so far the only winner that I see right now, or I see 2 winners. I see Blizzard and the players. Mm-hmm. So, but the thing is, I don't think they've announced how much they're going to pay the players yet. So even that's an unknown.
What are the prize pools or the stakes, just in general? Yeah.
And what if they don't get drafted?
Exactly.
That's a risk.
Right. From what I could tell, there actually will be little drafting, and teams will be coherent units.
Okay.
And I don't know if in the off season you're able to trade away players like you would in a major league sport, but during the season the teams are going to stay the same.
Okay.
That is at least what's going on in the rumor mill.
Yeah.
I couldn't back it up by any official source, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just think that's strange. Another thing is that I find it really hard to trust Blizzard doing anything esports related.
Yeah,
They've let us so many times.
Yeah.
Like, StarCraft 1 never grew in the West. Warcraft 3 never grew in the West. Because Blizzard has... Until StarCraft 2, Blizzard turned a blind eye to esports. And they just let it be its own thing. Like, at BlizzCon, they wanted to highlight World of Warcraft, so one way to do that was have the arena championships be there. But the prize pools were nothing. It was a couple $1,000. Does Blizzard actually care about esports at that point in time? No. But starting with StarCraft 2, Blizzard still was bad at it. But the sad part is they were trying. And they just had no idea what to do. They had no idea what the players wanted. And frankly, like you and I both played StarCraft 2, Jordan. When you played a lot, 2010 beta to about 2012, that's when we played really heavily, right?
Yeah.
What was the presence in esports other than MLG?
There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was
a couple online leagues.
I think I saw a league at Element Gaming, an old
there's
shop
just a bunch of locals, and it was like the players were trying to bring this game to life.
Yeah.
And Blizzard didn't care. They did not care. And then in 2013,
but they were trying. I mean, StarCraft 2 I think was meant for an esports take on things.
Absolutely.
They were trying.
But hold on, hear me out here.
But were they trying?
Yeah, see the thing is they had tournaments, but they weren't directly sponsored or run by Blizzard. And then what I think the turning point here was International 2013. That was the first time that Valve did the crowdfunding. And you all know about the International. That even if you play any esports game, if you're interested in esports even a little bit, everyone knows about the Dota 2 International. It was the first tournament that had a prize pool over $1 million, and now $20 million consistently each year. Like since 2013, that's the first year that Valve opened up crowdfunding, and then I bet you Blizzard CEOs, when they saw that, like, their eyes probably widened all the way.
And they're like, this money was available? Like, what?
Exactly. Because, think about it. When was WCS formed? It was formed in 2012, but it was made huge in 2013. That's when they, formalized all of it and made it a big deal. That's when GSL became part of WCS. So...
And GSL is the successful Asian league.
Oh yes, for the non-StarCraft players, GSL is the Global StarCraft 2 league in Seoul, Korea, and it's a really, really big deal over there.
That's the league that I'm always covering.
Yeah, it's the OSL or SSL of StarCraft 2.
It is. It is.
But the thing is, has never been run by Blizzard.
Yeah.
That is the lifeblood of StarCraft, but Blizzard doesn't care. And I don't know what it like. So you've been pretty passive on being involved in any Blizzard esports, from what I know, Daniel. So what's your take on this? Like, do you think Blizzard will learn from these lessons, or what's happen?
The thing is that I'm very much a person that bases it on track records, and although I think people can be forgiven if they make mistakes, and people learn from it, and I do think Blizzard has been very much doing their research, doing their homework before launching products, before making a move lately, they know
how to make money.
Yeah, and especially with Overwatch, with the community updates, so many things going right, it makes me think they revision everything and they made sure everything. So I think when it comes to the risk, because these CEOs, although this is very little money for them, they still wanna they still wanna have a person present what are the return of investment, what are the risks, they want everything laid down as clear as they want it. So in that
Yeah.
sense, I trust Blizzard. In the historical sense, I don't. Like, I think
There's nothing there.
they could be doing this to try to make a bigger one next year, to try to like get more people in the door, because maybe they couldn't get more people. Because for me, a good league number will be around 10 or 12. 16 will be like an ideal number for a league in general that covers a long season and a game that allows for variety within the week, within the this just seems very little. This seems like maybe they sort of released it. They said like, hey, this is as good as we're gonna get, without actually putting on some work that we can later take on to some other owners of other sports and other teams and whatnot, and say, hey, the New England Patriots join in, the New York Mets join in. We did this.
Like, we need this too.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that happening.
So
maybe we'll see a New York Patriots in esports. Maybe we'll see
Tom Brady. Tom Brady
Hold
got
down
Tom
rid of-
over
Brady,
their
yeah.
computer.
I can't reach my mouse.
Which one makes it go?
Yeah, no. One thing
Where's the controller?
One thing that surprises me is that Europe is not here, like, whatsoever. Not German. Like,
Yeah.
Overwatch is pretty big in Europe in general. It might not be big enough to, like, I will say it's big enough to pull that team together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing is that I'm a little bit worried about what this is going to mean for the rest of esports, because this is no small thing. This is bringing in
Mhm.
companies that have nothing to do with esports. Like fucking Kraft, they make mac and
Yeah.
cheese, man. And like okay, so another thing is that Jeff Wilpon.
Wait, hold on. You're saying Mac and Chief has nothing to do with this,
Has
or
nothing-
gaming.
No. Just because nerds live off of that shit doesn't mean it has anything to do with esports.
Have you seen the house tours when they open that fridge that's full of
Jesus.
craft products?
They're gonna open the pantry and it's gonna be filled with fucking macaroni. God damn it. They're gonna have a mac and cheese branded computer. Headsets. Oh god.
There's gonna be macaroni like over like little pictures.
It's got
Yeah, you're gonna have like, you know, the little headset.
It's a
It's gonna be
noodle.
in fucking
You can get it in like
Oh.
white mac and cheese, like little bits for like bacon. Anyway.
But seriously,
Yeah.
but for people like Robert Kraft, for people like Jeff Sterling, the only thing they care about at the end of the day is money.
Mhm.
Like, these guys are owners of huge companies, and for them it's not that big of a risk. But if they don't see a return on the risk,
But
not
pull out.
only are they going to pull out, their business partners, you know, all of just
Oh yeah.
it'd be stupid to pretend that these guys don't have connections with all of the big companies around the US. Like, Jeff Sterling's company probably owns a lot of these smaller companies, and
Yeah.
it's like, once you go that high and you fail, you're fucked. And that's what I'm worried about the rest of esports, because I personally do not think that Overwatch is a game that can handle this kind of, like, this scale. I
Yeah.
really don't. Because I compared to other games, people are just not interested in competitive Overwatch. It doesn't have the viewer numbers. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I've
it's
seen it hit
confusing.
6 digits, but the thing is, 6
It's,
digits on Twitch isn't a big deal anymore. The international drew 250,000 viewers.
What,
Like,
what I'm thinking they're going for is volume rather than dedicated viewers. So they're thinking that casually they're gonna get a big amount of viewers that, you know, go on Twitch and see, oh, hey, this league is on right now. Let me click on Overwatch. Or I've seen a lot of Overwatch events are mostly populated, like actual events. The crowd in there are mostly populated by like just people that walk by and stop and watch, and like they actually take up more space than the seats because they're mostly just like, yeah, there's, so I
they're
think
just
they're going for volume. They're just going for, you know what, we want we may not get consistent numbers, but we're gonna get high numbers all the time. Some sort of.
They have to.
They have. Well, yeah, they have to. Instead of how to make it, maybe they were like, you know, Twitch view bots. They're not that expensive if we need to buy a few to boost up.
You know, have every bot hooked up to it.
Mm-hmm. Although I do think that hopefully the business people, because I don't think this is all on the shoulders of Overwatch. Because
it's definitely not.
it's mostly like if this fails for Overwatch, for me it's more the business people are like, okay, Blizzard Activision, we're not gonna pay attention to you anymore. If you come to us another pitch,
move on to the next thing.
Exactly, but I think that gives strength to Valve or anybody else to say, oh yeah, that failed. Look over here.
That's okay. That's fair, because it's like, especially with things like League of Legends, Dota 2, CS:GO, like even Hearthstone. Like what I don't get is why Overwatch. Hearthstone's bigger than Overwatch as an esport already, but that's whatever. That's a different discussion. But you're right. Like other esports, they could capitalize on this. It's like, well, Blizzard failed, and we have proven time and time again that we do not fail, and our fans throw money at it, especially Valve. Valve has made $60 million off of digital items. This has been, the fundraising started in April. $60 billion in 3 months. That's insane.
Just imagine the presentation of that. Okay, so we're gonna make these items that literally cost like a few cents to make, and one of these is gonna bring in $1 million like in a day.
Yeah, so. And it's like, and then the person's like, what's the upkeep? We might need to install a new hard drive on the server.
Yeah, the other SSD died, so we bought another one on eBay.
Yeah, it was like $200.
Exactly, that's the thing. So I mean, I do want it to succeed, and it will be cool if Overwatch actually gets highly competitive, and the rule set. I think it's mostly the rule set that. From the beginning is still being figured out, whether the pushes, the coin flip mechanics, should it be there?
So, what are they doing any special rules for it?
Not that I know of. I'm talking more about the rules in game for the competitive mode.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. As far as I know, they don't have any special rules.
So Jordan, you did a little bit of research on like the details of how the league's going to work specifically, right? Like,
there's not a lot out there, Kevin.
Yeah?
There's not a lot. We just know that it's going to be a shorter season.
It's only 7 teams. It has to be.
Only 7 teams, and Blizzard is predicting chaos in this first league. So that is all that I've been able to find on
there is one thing that I do know is that every single game is going to be played in LA.
So they're going to fly out all these teams. Well, it makes sense for latency's sake, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
weird.
Because what's the point of the cities?
Yeah, that's a really. It just seems to enable, these people to buy up teams.
Yeah, it's like, hey, these people play for you. Right. Are they here now? They're in LA.
No, their training house is in LA.
Talk about a home field advantage.
Yeah, right.
Against every team. So that may actually come into play. There may be some drama with these leagues, as they have their own equipment. They've got their own facilities. The air is just the right temperature for these nerds, and that may be a little bit in there. So we may see it. All kind of fall out depending on how Blizzard handles this.
Yeah, we'll have to. This is another one of those. We'll have to see.
We'll see. I wish there wasn't, these big corporations behind it, or these big individuals, because as you were saying, the crowdsource is there. People want to see it, and they'll pay to see it.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. The crowdsource is there for other games. I don't think it's there for Overwatch.
And that should be indicative of what needs to be an esport. The people will tell you.
Overwatch will have a great crowdsource if they put out, the new bugs is the esport bugs.
And they start gambling.
Okay, we don't need to bring the gambling. I don't think I don't think.
Gambling was
Although-
a great idea.
Although
Dota 2 is.
I do have some loot boxes, like the original loot boxes, and some old loot boxes in Overwatch, in case they ever make items ever tradable between accounts. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep this all. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
Nope. They're gonna be tradable between Overwatch and Destiny 2.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be walking around in my cute diva skin on Destiny.
Right.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Dude,
I'll finally have a use for the skins for a game I don't play for.
GG.
and then Destiny
so
characters in Overwatch.
Yeah. So Overwatch League. Any final thoughts?
You go. It's like Blizzard's like, we got this, and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. I'll tune in when it's
Are you all
cool.
excited for this?
Thanks, Blizz.
The first set of
Honestly,
games
no.
is this weekend.
Is this
They've
weekend?
already happened.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, I'm not excited for this at all.
I don't even know Overwatch team.
Well,
so.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm right now. The only reason I'm invested into this is because I love esports and I want to see other games grow. But why the fuck did it have to be Overwatch?
And
Whatever.
you could tell he's got a lot of love for Overwatch. You're gonna cover the whole series, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch every game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at.
of
There's some
course. All right,
casting.
fuck
We've got
Overwatch.
it, we've
enough
got it
about
recorded
that.
here.
Let's move on to rapid fire.
All right.